at least.
Okay, so let's
Smells
say...
are interpreted by the brain directly.
But we can feel the percussion blast against our chest if it's close enough, right?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be useful because humans aren't able to do that. So if it was going based off that, it would be go toward loud noise that could only be so loud as to actually cause pressure on your body.
Right.
Otherwise, a human would have to be coming within incredibly close proximity.
And that would end up in death. But
yeah.
My thing is, if they can feel the percussion, like say just like a sound wave kind of version,
or like a bass bump,
which you could set off.
Or a shock wave.
You could set off timed car alarms, where you could have it go off during the day, so that
that's what you do actually.
Ricochets.
There are car alarm traps in the game Dying Light that you can activate, and they'll be set on a timer. Then they'll go off and bring a horde of zombies to them.
Which is great, because if we had to simulate that in real life, we would be able to, with the massive amount of cars and the very few people that would actually want to stay in a city, you could easily lure them to a larger city with larger resources. But if you draw them to the highways, you can go the back roads and the side streets away that are further away.
Yeah, I mean, the highways are going to be full of cars anyway, people just abandoning them. So it'd be pretty easy to actually just rig a bunch of cars to go off.
But you need to drag, since we live in Arizona, it wouldn't be too hard to get solar panels, so you could break out the car alarms to go off.
You would need solar sensors, which are a completely different...
Yeah, but you still need solar panels
as a power source, yeah.
Because that's a sustainable power source in a zombie apocalypse.
In terms of, because they have no moving parts whatsoever, and all you really have to do is just Windex them a couple times.
Yeah, and make sure the wiring doesn't corrode.
Yeah, take good care of the wires, and copper and rubber is pretty easy to make yourself.
Well, no,
if you fucking need to.
Well, you'd have to source it from, vacuums and stuff.
Not even that. If you took some copper wiring and you made a forge, you could melt down some copper, pour it into really thin, wiry strips, and then bundle them together, get a bunch of rubber, melt it, and just run the wires through it.
Which rubber would be abundant with car tires. You'd have
I think you need a different kind of rubber for that.
No, because it makes sense, because the car tires...
Because car tire rubber is pretty fucking dense.
I get that, but...
And thready. It threads a lot, too.
But think about it. It lasts a lot longer, because car tire rubber, you could seal it in car tire rubber with the regular rubber, so because car tire rubber lasts a lot longer in weather, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I can't really say, because I'm not actually sure about how good car tire rubber would actually melt, seeing as how it's meant to be it's meant to exist within relatively warm climates, hence this miserable fucking place that we live in. Also, when it shreds, or when it falls apart, it's really, really thready, so I think it might be woven to some degree, because there's threads of it in there. And it's a fucking weird-ass material.
It also would be perfect for smoke signals.
I really wouldn't mind... yeah, but it smells horrible.
Yeah, I know it smells horrible, but...
Also, the fumes are toxic and will kill you.
I mean, true, but...
But I would want to look into it. Once I get my forge, I think I might try it with map gas.
Okay, well, try it with a small piece of rubber, and if you don't like the fumes, you can still wear a mask. You have to wear a mask.
That's the thing, is if it's contained, I don't think the fumes are that much of an issue. Seeing as how it won't fume if it's just melting, not burning.
True. And it doesn't take a lot to melt rubber, because...
Yeah, rubber's not exactly a durable material. I mean, tire rubber's pretty durable, but... I don't know, I can look into this. Presumably.
Okay, so continue on with the subject. Where in the world would you go to hide within the northern continents?
Probably southern Canada near the Great Lakes. Because there's a shit ton of fresh water all over that region.
I realize that, but it's also a bad choice because it gets cold.
No. It gets cold that time of year, which is good, because making a fire when you're prepared is super easy. Yes. Also, we need to go east. So also, the cold will freeze the zombies over. Not a lot of people actually live out in that direction. And food is abundant because it's full of wilderness, so you get a reloading bench up there, and You keep all your brass casings, and you can reload your ammo. Because you can probably make your own bullets if you have a forge.
I mean, I'd pick Colorado because at least
Actually, you need a lot of shit. Yeah, reloading bench actually not that good of an idea. So maybe getting some bows and arrows might be better.
Yeah, because guns would be used in an emergency situation.
But you need some sturdy bows. Like you need a crossbow.
I mean, with
and then
the
you would
amount
also
of
need like
funding,
steel rods for arrows in order to get them to last long enough.
I mean,
which is not unreasonable, especially if the bow has a lot of draw tension on it. But it won't travel very far, so you'll basically need to barrel snuff your prey.
Right, but we also have a shit. If we ever since we're already shut down, and I'm just gonna preface this way, we have a fuck ton in here in Arizona. We have a fuck ton of let me think of like hardware stores and stuff like that. It wouldn't be that hard to rig up something to
like
fix
traps?
the boat, traps and shit. Like even basic traps.
Reminds me of the fucking flogger from Zombies. It's just a giant like wooden gate, just slathered in razor wire and giant spikes, and it just spins. So anything that walks into it just gets thumped.
That way you can actually do that.
Ripped in half.
But you'd have to live, if you lived in Arizona, you don't get a fresh water source. You'd have to live near the river.
Yeah, you would need to live near like a river or something. Tempe Town Lake would be a horrible idea
because
the lake is man-made and only a few feet deep. So you get like a particularly hot summer and that lake is just
gone.
Yeah.
Also, it'd probably be if it was in Tempe Town Lake, you could easily, if it was during the rainy season, you could funnel the fresh water into it as a reservoir because the water here doesn't stick very long.
If the climate chilled out, which it would,
a lot.
It already has. It already is, given that we're all staying inside. The climate's already recovered quite a bit. Okay. I mean, it hasn't recovered enough, but it's recovered a good amount.
I mean, like, it's covered, like, at least...
Like, pollution, like, emissions are down drastically everywhere.
Not
and
everybody's
the planet
driving.
is breathing a lot easier because of it.
I mean...
Like, you'll notice how cleaner the skies have looked in Phoenix lately. Right.
I can actually see stars. Okay, continuing with the still post-apocalypticness. Thinking, if again with the Tempe Town Lake, you could easily build a civilization on the lake, but you'd have to make sure it was like with boats. I wouldn't want to rely on
the lake that shallow. You could like canoes and like gondolas or barges or something.
Yeah, you just use it as a storage
pontoon boats.
Yeah, like pontoon
But
boats.
I wouldn't want to live near Tempe Town because of how, well, first of all, how urban that entire area is. There's not a lot you can do with the land there.
Actually, you'd end up...
And the fact that the water in that lake is good, but it's really shallow. So it either A, wouldn't last very long, or B, it would dry up way too much in the summer. So I wouldn't want to put any fucking bets on it. Yeah, it's like maybe 8 feet deep universally because it's a man-made lake.
Right.
So I want to live near like an actual lake, like Pleasant or Powell.
I think
especially Powell, because Powell's part of the Colorado River, and that bitch is thick with water.
What about the Grand Canyon? You could easily
the Grand Canyon is also part of the Colorado River.
You could easily learn how to tightrope walk, secure yourself to the line, and just wait for the zombies to just implode themselves into the fucking canyon.
You could zip line across actually pretty easily by establishing. It would be a fucking nightmare to actually put this together, but it's entirely possible to set up a ziplining wire between one end and the other.
You just
back and forth.
But you just have to do it to where there's one
be practical
because the other.
Yeah, it's super easy to do, but it's impractical because of the fact that in order to get an incline that would be steep enough for you to comfortably ride across, you'd basically have to erect a tower on one side.
True. I also think
on both sides actually.
I think
possibly
we'd end up living underground. Mostly.
I don't know about that.
Well, it'd be safe, it'd be easy, and two, we'd have multiple. We'd basically be living like mole people.
I don't think we would get to that point. The zombies would eventually just deteriorate and just go away at some point.
Yeah, but if you think about it, there's always people reproducing. So the zombies would be.
Oh no, like all right. Let's say, for example, that within the first few months of infection to a year, you get, say, 72% of the Earth's population. That is several billion people, all zombified.
No,
You would need to wait less than a year.
That'd be about. We'd only have about 1.3 billion people.
Yeah, but that would be like spread out all over the place.
Right.
So let's say, hang on, let me check to make sure I'm going the right way. I
realize
need
I
to get up
used-
on 155 baseline Guadalupe. Alright, so I keep going. So then, on top of that, we get the fact that all those people that have been zombified will deteriorate into a useless corpse of just flesh, of like just putrefied flesh and bone within about a year, assuming that whatever's affecting them doesn't slow down decomposition that much. Otherwise, it would be 2 months, not a problem.
Right.
So
My
let's
thing
so
is,
let's
you'd
say they
find,
last
like,
a year. So you have to wait. You have
zombie
to.
shells.
You have to. Oh, if they mummify, then that would be horrible. But you'd wait it out for like a year, and then all the zombies are now dead.
Right.
So now all you have to do is just regrow the population back into the ruins of the old world, assuming the virus died with the last zombie, which, depending on the nature of it, is very well not the case.
Yeah, my
Otherwise,
thing
you
is
will need
India
to
would be
institute.
totally wiped out.
Yeah, India and China gone. Like their entire countries would just be gone, aside from their
Because of the dense
aside from their
populace.
governments, because of how dense the population, because of how the population density is.
I mean, like, if you're in Ireland and, like, let's just throw this in as
Ireland would probably be fine. Ireland, Greenland, Iceland.
anything that's
Depending-
like an island.
Actually, no, England would probably be screwed.
England's attached to.
Wait, I need this. I just broke the law.
I
but-
hope to God there wasn't a cut.
They'd already be up my ass if there was. But there's any island nation that doesn't receive a lot of traffic, like Iceland, Greenland, Ireland, Scotland, Madagascar, Cuba,
Madagascar
especially
has a
Cuba. Cuba, New Zealand might be okay.
New Zealand does receive a fair amount of tourist traffic, so.
Yeah, but to be fair, almost everyone in New Zealand is fucking crazy.
So,
So they would probably be fine.
right.
You can go, you're good, bud.
I'm pretty sure New Zealand would just screw over the virus instantly and just start killing people.
Yeah, New Zealand.
That just
New Zealand
become a
doesn't
Mad
fucking-
Max situation instantly.
New Zealand is pretty good because New Zealand's already gotten rid of COVID pretty much in their entire country. They have like no more new cases, like at all. So they've essentially beaten the virus by
Right.
now.
Okay.
So New Zealand is some top dog shit. They're a bunch of crazies and they don't care, but they're friendly crazies. It's okay.
I mean, my best guess is that we'd end up with mostly fucking redneck Americans
Yeah, the South would be doing
risen
pretty good.
again.
The South would be fine. Maine and Alaska would be fine.
Alaska doesn't have a very dense population.
And
unless you
everyone
count
up there is a
Anchorage.
gun owner because hunting.
Yeah, and like 90%
And the fact that it's cold as fuck always, so a zombie plague wouldn't be able to get very far.
right, unless it mutated.
Unless it mutated to be able to withstand the cold, which I don't actually think it can do
There.
very well. Because Alaska has some fucking biting
Balls.
cold.
They have like
It is
They have
extra
deathly
frosty. It is extra frosty there. So, because they're literally like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Siberia, which
In
is the
Russia.
coldest place on the planet.
they're like
In
they're
some
like a hop,
places.
skip, and a jump away from Russia. In certain
Yeah,
places.
Russia, with like the eastern part of Russia is Siberia, and the tip of Siberia is the Bering Strait, which is
most rough
which shares
seas.
Alaska. Yeah, the Bering Sea is not a friendly fucking place, even kind of.
I mean, like we could easily
Can I
survive
pass
in
it?
submarines, right?
No, submarine life is very much dependent on like
Upper surface, yes.
a submarine can only exist as long as the surface can provide for it.
Which means a lot of people who were down
I
under
went
the water
wrong
would.
way. Entirely. Shit.
Oh, this is when you let me navigate. Anyways, I think we just got distracted by the good conversation. Anyways, submarine life would eventually have to resurface, and thus interjecting our population with a decent amount. Unless you're taking like Umbrella Corp and putting them into a stasis chamber, which I don't think we have the quite yet technology for a stasis sort of chamber.
We do not have the ability to prolong human life by doing that. If we did, I would probably do it at some point. It's stick me in a box, wake me up when humans are immortal.
I mean, it's possible. Hey! Whoa! Fuck!
I could have very easily, just ran over all those people.
Anyways,
and I would have just kept going because I don't have to stop.
There's a possibility with the fact that we can pump circulation without the heart moving. We could easily keep the brain alive, but we wouldn't need a heart.
No, there's a lot more to it than that, because the brain itself deteriorates and erodes. It isn't just like the body cannot support the brain, so the brain dies. It's the brain is dying along with the body. So in order to...
We'd have to, create a second artificial heart.
Not even that. You would have to figure out a way to remove dead cells from the body, replace your blood every decade or so, and you would need to find a way to stimulate cell growth in the human body so that it produces more cells than they die, and to try and keep cells from dying in the first place.
We'd have to figure out how to do the thing.
However, that's kind of dangerous territory because that's how cancer happens. So basically, we need to reverse engineer cancer to just do that everywhere, but not nearly as badly. And we just won't ever die. I imagine at some point we'll want to, but we won't ever die.
Alright. This concludes this conversation and this recording. Thank you all and have a lovely day.
Now listen to that before you go to sleep.